Hi, Renee. Yeah, the.
We have,
Okay.
Oh,
Was our working session or is this a meeting? No, it's just a meeting. We didn't do a work session because of the holiday next week.
Okay. I just was afraid I missed something.
No. You want to took all your candy? No, we're not gonna get any more since Eagle's gone.
Oh, but what's all the bubblies? No,
I have a bunch here if you want it.
no, I'm fine. I don't need any more candy. I'm waiting for the.
how come Eagles not doing outside?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
How
lollipops.
come Eagles not doing outside? It's okay. Oh,
They want those.
what's that last week?
Another week.
Jolly Rancher lollipop.
I don't know.
Good evening. We will call the May 20th Niagara Falls Water Board Business Meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. If you have a cell phone and it's on, please put it on mute or silent. You can start that way. Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Here.
Chairman Forster,
Here.
Board Member Kimball,
Here.
Board Member Larkin,
Present.
Board Member Leffler.
Here.
Mr. Costello, we have any public speakers or comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have two public speakers tonight. The first is Brandon Gorchak.
Brandon, if you would come right up and
That's the best.
address the board, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I had gotten a bill that I would like to dispute. There was a continuous leak, for March 3rd.
Sir, if I
So-
can just stop you for a
Yep, no
second.
problem.
If you can give us your name
Oh,
and the address
Yep.
and the address of the property that's in
yep,
question.
no problem. My name's Brandon Gorchak and my address is 114 78th Street in Niagara Falls. On March 3rd, it appears that there was a broken pipe between my household and my garage, which I have water running out there and sewer. The water was continuously running through a 3/4 inch pipe for approximately 2 months, unbeknownst to myself or my roommate in my household. So I was left with a $4,300 bill from the first quarter. So that's April or March. I'm sorry, March 3rd, when it spiked. And then it was shut off April 30th with, the sewer had plugged and caused a backup in the basement. And when finding out that it was unplugged, where's the continuous water coming from? It was going directly underground into the other sewer. So I call when I get the bill, or I call when I get this addressed, hey, like I'm having continuous water. They're like, oh yeah, we know that there's an issue. We've sent a supervisor out several times. Appears that there's nothing wrong. But since I have water running from my household to my garage with sewer as well, never used. I've been there 15 years. It's just an active water shut off. So basically I'm looking at approximately over an $8,000 water and sewer bill in total. I haven't gotten obviously the next quarter's bill yet, but
This was after your meter.
this is after the meter in the backyard. But I was told on several occasions a supervisor had came out to check, I guess, from the street. And could tell that my meter, when I had the report ran, it shows that on March 3rd, there was an interruption And it just continuously ran for approximately 2 months until there was a backup in the sewer, or I got the bill first, one or the other. So
did you talk to anybody from finance and the water board?
I have not, no. They told me to just come, obviously, to see you guys, May 20th.
Mr. Costello,
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
what would we suggest?
It sounds like the situation described might fall within the bill adjustment policy, which is limited in the amount of relief, but applied equally to all similar situations. An adjustment form will need to be completed. Mr. Makowitz right there could give you some direction on how to obtain that
Okay.
form.
Is that only for the $1,000?
Yes.
I have a question. Is the water turned off
It
now?
is shut
the-
off it's totally cut off to the backyard.
And the leak is gone?
And the leak is
now?
gone and it was checked, that was also checked and there was no difference in meter once it was shut off. I mean,
Brian,
has there been any other special situations? I mean, still like, even if it's $7,000, it's like a lifetime's worth of water. And I live on the road. I'm a truck driver. So like, I'm never home to like even use the water, to be honest.
We can review the notes and see if there's any, exceptional circumstance the supervisor coming.
the only
out
thing
would
I would-
learn more about, but
There was never a sticker. I get it. It's not your guys' problem. But if anyone could have any sort of compassion of the total amount for a non-seeable situation, it's not like my basement was flooding I could have filled 8 households, 2,000 square foot homes in that time frame, right to the chimney. Obviously, I wasn't running a pool. It was in the middle of winter. So, I mean, if there's any sort of special circumstances, I'm, not using the water how it should be or of any form of facet.
So when it was leaking though, you saw no evidence? The only thing you saw was that your sewer line was picking up all this water?
So what happened, I believe, is there's a break between the house and the out parcel garage.
Okay.
And there's a sewer pipe that runs right beside it. It's a clay tile pipe, the house from 1900. Don't know when the garage was built. I was never told that. So there's no evidence outside. There was no evidence inside. It wasn't evident until the sewer started backing up from a clog. Once that was freed up, then once the drain was snaked, there was still water coming through and you're like, what is running in the house? This was only days before I got the bill.
So you're saying it was your main sanitary line was plugged?
Correct. That's what caused the backup in the basement to go, we unclogged it.
Yeah.
And then you look down there and it's like somebody was running a hose further down the line. I'm like, what is going on here?
Were you aware that this water line was running from the house to the?
Absolutely
No.
not. I mean, I mean, eventually, I'm no dummy. I know that something would come at that point. I mean, now it's just a shut off valve. You just turn the valve off and there's no water going.
Well, so in terms of, thinking of fairness, I mean, what are you proposing you think would be a settlement?
Anything is better than nothing. Half would work, half on me, maybe, some sort of payment plan. I mean, that's like still $4,500 at the end of it. It's not even an honest mistake on my end. I just wish that if I was notified sooner of, all of this,
What it was like,
hey,
yeah.
we think that there's a problem or an issue. I mean, clearly you're not filling a pool or anything like that in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
That's all. So, and it's a special circumstance because I understand I'm probably one of only a handful of homes that have in Niagara Falls, sewer and water running to the garage.
Yeah.
So
See, we read the sewers every quarter.
mhm,
We wouldn't know ahead.
they knew. They told me downstairs that they were
Well, they know
sending,
if they look at the meter. But I mean, there's 17,000 meters in the city.
but they said they were sending a supervisor to come look, and I'm assuming they were checking for a leak between the main and the house. But at that point, it wouldn't be running through the meter. If it was leaking, it'd be on my front yard and I'd go, hey, my front
We're
yard's,
looking for our problem, right?
what's that?
We're looking for a problem on our end.
Correct.
Right.
So the way I see it is, hey, if it's on your dime, you guys are out looking, which is understandable.
Yeah.
Had I known, I would have shut the water off going to the garage.
Yeah.
So that's why, I mean, and I guess I'm proposing, maybe 50%.
All right, see Mr. Makowitz.
Okay.
Before you go, get his information. He'll tell you what you need to fill out,
Okay,
and then he'll make a recommendation to the board.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the second speaker is Sean Rogan.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sean Rogan, 638 67th Street, Niagara Falls, New York, 14304. I'm in a little bit of the same boat as him, where I did actually call already to dispute the charges and try to get adjustments. I did fill out the adjustment paperwork, and in reading it, it says adjustments for both water and sewer combined may not exceed 1,000 per claim without board resolution and approval. So that's why I'm here to seek the board resolution and approval. My bill, $2,340.76. Now, the first bill I got, this is the second bill I got at all living. I just moved here August 28th, 2023. The first bill was $284. 87. Let me check real quick. Sorry, it's right here. $284.77. I have a copy of the check. When I called and talked to people at the board, they said, make sure everything's tight, fixed, do your dye check for a toilet. There's no leaking outside. Me and my girlfriend's dad, but she's in Millwright. We looked through everything. I made sure everything was retightened, made sure all the toilets were readjusted and fixed no matter what, to make sure everything is tip top and tight. Now, when I talked to one of the young ladies, she said that it looks like from the past bill history that I would be approved for the up to $1,000. But I was coming here to try to get it even lower because I got a daughter, a son, I got another one on the way. Where am I gonna $2,000 something to pay a water bill, which should have been around 150 to 250 bucks. We just moved over here.
Do we know, did you find out what the issue was at your house?
I checked everything I could. I didn't see anything.
Did any of our people ever come out?
No,
Did you-
nobody.
Did you?
I
call?
asked, I called multiple times, a lot of times. I called a lot. I mean, I can show you my call log right now. In 1 week, I probably called 8 to 10 times, a few times a day.
And you talked to a like party?
I didn't get no names.
Yeah.
Lots of young women, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't want to
You
be,
could say.
I don't want to say,
There would-
just some women I talked to. I don't get no names.
And how did they steer you?
Basically to fill out the adjustment forms and then talk to, I believe, you, but we never spoke. You couldn't get to me.
Okay.
And he made an adjustment or a payment plan. She said, start the payment plan so you don't get interrupted, which I had to put it on my credit card. And when you pay that, you got to pay an extra $14. So my first payment, my first payment is for the plan was $390. Well, if you pay online, you have to pay a $14 fee, and then it takes like 14 more days for it to get to the place that's paying. So that's $404 every time I have to make that payment.
Okay.
When was he going to come back?
That's my girlfriend's mother.
Outside guy.
Yeah, he would, the meter shop. Yeah. Okay, we'll take a look at it. Mr. Makowitz has your information?
Yeah,
Got it.
I can't believe nobody would go out there. They called 10 times.
Yeah, well, we'll pull up the log.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Conti, would you check with the meter shop and see how many complaints they've had at that address? How many times were responded? Yeah. And send an email to the board on what your findings are. Any other speakers, Mr. Costello?
No, Mr. Chairman.
The chair would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
I'll second.
seconded by Board Member Loeffler. On the question?
Mr. Chairman, I believe you're going to state the purpose for.
Yeah, the motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing matters related to public employees, collective bargaining and negotiations, matters leading to the appointment of a particular person or corporation. Thank you, Mr. Costello.
Are we going in?
Call the roll, please.
Board Member Askew,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes, to go to an executive session.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes, to go into executive session.
Board Member Leffler.
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
The time is 5:14.
Mr. San Lorenzo, please. Mr. Costello, let us know when Board Member Kimball's back on the air, please.
I will do so.
You're gonna be a busy bush, huh?
Already was.
It's only getting worse.
She wanted you to do.
Right now. We were just talking about,
I'll make it. I don't care.
talking about my resignation.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, Board Member Kimball is back on the line.
Public knowledge.
Renee, are you able to hear us?
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we can come out of executive session, please. Get a
Move it.
motion, please.
Move it to come out of
Moved by
executive
Board
session.
Member Ashkar, seconded by Board Member Larkin on the question. And being heard, call the roll, come out of executive session, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes, to exit executive session.
Board Member Kimball,
yes, to come out of executive session.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes, to exit executive session.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes,
Motion carries. The time is 5:41.
thank you. The chair will entertain a motion to appoint Sean Costello, Executive Director of Niagara Falls Water Board.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
A second.
seconded by Board Member Leffler. On the question. And being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Costello.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Any presentations,
None this evening, Mr. Chairman.
letters and communication?
The two letters of communications in the packet are the COVID wastewater surveillance update memorandum, which is at page 6 of the packet, and the quarterly progress report for the wastewater treatment plant order on consent, which is found beginning at page 23 of the packet.
Thank you, Mr. Costello. Has the board had a chance to look at the prior minute meetings from draft form from April 22nd?
Yeah.
And if they look,
One note that I found that.
yes. You moving it?
I'll go
Accept
to, go down the.
Move to accept the minutes by Board Member Larkin.
Second.
Second by Board Member Ashkar on the question.
Yes, 37, we have a typo, we have Mr. Eagler Conti, could we possibly just make that Mr. Conti?
I will make that correction.
Correction noted. Anything else? Any questions? Any objections? None? Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar,
Yeah.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Board Member Leffler,
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We're going to go to number 2. We're going to remove the word acting, and we're going to go to Executive Director, Mr. Costello, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The one matter I'd like to briefly touch on is with respect to resolution number 5, which is for an order on consent with respect to the wastewater treatment plant. For almost a decade, the Water Board has been having conversations with the DEC about our effluent turbidity and the contrast in the lower Niagara River. Those conversations were put on hold to some degree after July 29, 2017. And while we worked on all of the improvements required under the current order on consent. However, the wastewater treatment plant's permit expired in 2018. And since 2018, that permit has been under a full technical review. The permit carries on in force until the technical review is complete. And it's become clear as we've met with DEC about the proposed new effluent limits that the plant cannot meet some of the anticipated requirements. You know, the regulations have tightened over time in order to further protect water quality. For over a year now, we've been in discussions with the DEC about an order on consent that would both allow us to address the longstanding issue of the effluent turbidity or contrast in the lower Niagara River, but also that would give us time to plan and construct improvements that would meet the anticipated regulatory requirements in a new permit. including interim limitations while we design and construct improvements so that we're not in violation of the newer, tighter limits. The order on consent is not perfect. It's, not going to be a document that we draft, but it represents, I think, a lot of good faith and negotiation and real goodwill from the DEC wanting to see us succeed, wanting to see us improve the wastewater treatment plant and, right some of the issues that were inherited by this board from when the plant was designed and constructed in the early and mid 1970s. With that, I don't know if there are any questions on it, but CPL is present, both Jay Myers and Seth Kroll, to discuss the project budget tracker, construction schedule tracker, and financial award summary if desired by the board. You will note that there are 2 resolutions in the packet related to grant applications. One is for water lines. Mr. Conti will touch briefly on some of the water lines that are being included in that grant application and the reason why. The other relates to wastewater treatment plant construction projects. One of the major and main advantages to an order on consent is it adds a lot of points to the water board score for grant applications. It positions us to be able to secure more funding for the project. The resolution that's in the packet, the final resolution in the packet, relates to those wastewater treatment plant projects. We don't know exactly what that needs to look like, so it's the best effort that we have today to put that resolution together in the hopes of avoiding a special meeting of the board in order to prepare a resolution for grant applications. But I have to throw the caveat that there need to be an amendment to that resolution after we've had some further conversations with the EFC. But we're hoping not to have a special meeting just for that purpose.
Thank you, Mr. Costello. CPL have anything?
Mr. Myers, would you just update the board briefly on the updated schedule for the new chlorine scrubber?
Just received that this morning. The anticipated delivery date is somewhere in July. So it's moved up about a month from what the original anticipated delivery is. They are looking to start doing the preliminary work with the concrete and some of the electrical early July before it shows up, so that when it does get here, they can just start putting it in. And it should be finished by middle to the end of August. So that should meet your deadline of what, September?
I believe we wanted it done by the end of September.
Yes.
Anything new on Beach Avenue water tower?
They're still preparing the report. We had been in touch with them about sending a proposal to do the 56th Street tank and the Clearwell. So when I talked to Ted over there a week ago, he said they're just jammed up with reports for other tanks that they've been inspecting all spring.
Good stuff.
So if we do get one back and we get one back on 56th, we have to put a contract out for rehab. We can include them both under one contract.
Good stuff. Any board member have any questions for CPL? Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Mr. Conti, operations, please.
Mr. Chairman, board members. For outside operations, I was able to review some information out of Lucity, and flushing is up for the month of April. And bypass pumping, probably due to the stormy weather that we had. As Mr. Costello mentioned, there is a WIA 2 grant being proposed with 7 water main locations to be replaced. I'm not going to steal Mr. Williamson's thunder. I'm sure he'll go into depth on that. I just forwarded an application to the Department of Health today for recertification credits for our water treatment operators for the confined space training I'm going to hold for our employees right here in this room. So we're going to do it all on site now. We had materials delivered on Friday and today for the tunnel at the Gorge, electrical materials. And our EPA visit went quite well.
Any board member have any questions for Mr. Conti?
Yeah.
I have a couple, please. How we doing with high lift pump number 2?
High lift pump number 2. I will find out. Mr. Eagler was handling that and I will take that over and find out.
Generator as well?
I will find that
Generator
out.
here?
also.
at the-
Yes.
Okay. Now, looking at the list on page 163, the resolution regarding, water infrastructure improvements.
Yes.
Has staff taken into consideration, regarding red hydrants?
Yes. That is the reason for these locations. Exactly.
So we're gonna get some of the red hydrants out of the system.
Absolutely.
Do we know how many it's gonna come out of service, Mr. Costello? Approximately?
I don't know the total quantity, but I
Okay.
evaluated him, to the flow. Which ones were the absolute worst, and especially if you have more pressure, shift, maybe flow. You know, I analyzed all basically Q divided by P, and, you know, every line in the system, you know, that you have, basically all of the mains are 4 except for 6%. All screwed.
So red hydrants are low flow hydrants, really that you know, for fire suppression reasons, they just don't have enough water flow. It'll suck the hydrant dry, a fire truck. So the staff is concentrating on removing some of these out of our system, which is a positive. Okay, good stuff. Thank you. I don't have anything else.
Thank you.
Mr. Williamson?
Good evening. That's basically what I was gonna talk about tonight, is I looked through the whole system. We've got projects on the CIP plan. But I wanted to really hit the ones that are, you know, the highest priority. There's some that have been on there for years. We're tackling a lot of them. But I went through, and with the help of Adam, you know, we got a lot of, it wasn't all, everything didn't convert over to Excel, but I, you know, do a lot of sorting in that and analyzing, and I think I found out, you know, found the mains, you know, sections, not like a whole street or whatever, you know, limited to like, you know, 600 feet or 800 feet, you know, where the bad hydrants were, and most of the lines I looked at were like 4 and 6 inch. So, you know, on the list that is in the resolution 4 tonight, you know, we're gonna put a grant application in June 14th using CPL. You know, basically we came up, I mean, there's actually 9 locations, but some of them are kind of near each other, so they kind of got grouped. You know, there's about 9,100 linear feet of pipe. We have an estimate of about 6.5 million. 60% is covered by grant. 40% would be 0% loan from EFC. So yeah, I did a pretty good analysis of where it seemed like there's some bottlenecking in that going on, and we're not getting good flows, and that'll, you know, promote flows throughout the system. It'll help out other pipes in the area. So that's basically what I have, unless we have, you know, I looked at some of the town and Niagara flows too. And it seems like when it rains, the town and Niagara flows hit like 10% of our total wastewater plant flow. It seems that's when we tend to overflow at the gorge. So there's actually, you know, when we get too much flow from them, that causes us to overflow. And it seems like the value is like 10%, and then we start overflowing. So basically a lot of it is due to like parking lot and drainage and that, but you can, you know, there's definitely an issue when it rains. And other than that, we finally got in a drop-in collar down at the wastewater plant to fill in the hole. So we basically just got to chip out the grout, and it should fit in like a glove. Should, on paper, it looks good,
What
but
do we put on top?
what do we put on? No, it's gonna, you knock out all the grout. There's like an inch of grout. You know, paint the pipe sleeve and then just drop it right in. It's not gonna move anywhere, and it's good for foot traffic. So we only got one, and if it works, you know, I was told we get a reduced price based on quantity. There'd be like 44 more of them. but it looked pretty too. Not that it has to look pretty there.
Let's go back to the water mains. Do you
Yeah.
know off the top of your head, are these 4 and 6 inch?
Yeah, they're all 4 except for Fall Street between
Wall
9th and
Street's a 4 inch?
No, it's a 6 inch. It actually, yeah, I looked at all the hydrants, it depends on what main it's connected into. There's
Yeah.
like, it's on the 6 inch main, all the hydrants, the flows are low for a 6 inch, like 430 average GPM, which is low for a 6 inch. But yeah, I looked at a lot of areas. I mean, you're getting like a lot of pressure on some of these mains and the flows are low. So that's showing you there's some type of issue there.
How many red hydrants do we have?
Oh, that I don't totally know offhand. I would have to look that up. I know we've got a quantity. They're not as many. I saw a correspondence on that. It was down a lot from what it used to be. Yeah, I can't throw a number out there. I think I just saw something on that.
Don't we have that on a program for the fire department?
We do.
So it should be quick to look at our program.
Yeah, through, all the hydrant testing. They're marked, and put in Lucid. But don't forget, there's some areas of the map where it's coming off an 8 inch. And we have one hydrant on a street that's red. So was it is there some tuberculation between, that hydrant just by itself? Or is there a valve closed somewhere or partially closed? Those are all considerations.
Yeah, that sounded about right. You see, he quote 100, he said, and that's what I thought the number was, but I didn't want to say it was only 100.
Out of 2,300, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good. Good stuff. Any board member have any questions for Mr. Williamson?
I do. It's
Yes.
sort of on topic, but off topic. There's a lot of talk in the Buffalo media about the lead pipes.
Yeah,
In
right,
Buffalo, they're doing a
right.
survey or questionnaire. Do we have, we know if we have a percentage of lead pipes?
We will have
Yeah.
a proposal for the board for a consultant to help us finish that work for the next meeting.
But we do know where they are and
Not with
many
great
we-
precision. We've been reviewing records and gathering data. A
Okay.
lot of what they do, it's sort of prediction more than, actual direct knowledge.
Okay. All right.
Right. The majority of these mains are somewhat old, except, LaSalle, they're newer mains. But they're definitely experiencing pressure issues over there.
Thank you, Mr. Williamson.
Yeah.
Mr. San Lorenzo, personnel, please.
Good evening. In today's personnel action sheet, there is one resignation for senior lab tech in the new environmental lab. Losing a good employee, but on the other side, we had just
What do you
posted that job about a month ago. So there's a very good candidate for that position. That's one. And then the last one is just the workers' comp. This is a still ongoing issue.
Thank you. Any board member have any questions for personnel? Well, thank you, Mr. San Lorenzo.
You're welcome.
Mr. Joyce isn't here. Anybody reporting on IT?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Joyce sent me a page at least of notes, but the highlights that I would like to hit on their behalf is that they're working on further improvements to security measures at the Gorge Pump Station, which is not attended at all times, but we're using technology to greatly enhance the security there. One of the matters they're trying to find a solution to is how to have access control for the elevator so that there can't be use of the elevator that's not authorized. Another thing they're working on is mobile device management software, so we can better track and handle the data on mobile phones and other devices issued by the water board. They've now deployed that to 5 devices, and they're hoping to roll it out to all the rest of the devices this summer. And last, we have a camera live at the 56th Street Water Tower. where we have not had camera coverage in quite some time. So we now have a live camera there.
Stuff, thank you. Mr. Makowitz.
Good evening. I really don't have anything else to add other than what was in the report.
Any board member have any questions for Mr. Makowitz? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Has the board had a chance to review the O&M maintenance report for April? Any questions at all, anybody? Okay, Mr. Ricardo, safety, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We had PERMA came in and did their annual inspection on May 7th. And they were happy with the fact that we have a safety committee now that meets every other week and discusses safety issues. They were also impressed with the fact that we updated our EAP plan. And when I told them that we had done that, they said, well, what made you do that? And I told them that we did that in response to the accident that happened at the bridge in November. When the car, went airborne. And so they were very impressed with the fact that we responded the way we did, here to that, to that situation. But overall, we had a good report from PERMA, and we'll probably get the final report in a couple of weeks. But I think they were generally impressed with the improvements we've made since last year that they were here. So I think that should be good. The other thing is Nellie Brown from Western New York Kosh will be in Wednesday and Thursday this week to do another process failure analysis, water and wastewater. It's the second time she's been around, and it went over really good in both departments. Last time, I think she was here in March. And so we scheduled another session with her, and she goes through the system and interjects different scenarios and, what happens if this happens, what happens if that happens. And so everybody really liked it. So I'm sure that she'll do a good job this time. And July 15th, I've scheduled a flag person certification class. People that are out on the road, waving the flags, setting up the cones, doing all the safety requirements that go along with flag waivers out there. And it's a couple hour class, and it's from PERMA, so it's free.
Good. Any board member have any questions for Mr. Ricardo? Mr. Ricardo, you just did something recently with the employees from enforcement.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes. I was out today, matter of fact, with the employees from, and we did they showed me what they did on the road, how they collect the samples, how they set up the cones, where they park their vehicles, and that sort of thing. We went to a couple locations, went to 56th Street, a manhole cover there, and we went to Cutterback Avenue and 24th Street, another manhole cover there. So it was like two different scenarios, one on a little bit busier of a street and one on a not as busy street. And my recommendations there was that they have to have brighter lights, brighter emergency lights, on the vehicle, because they're just using the lights that are automatically come on the vehicle. The emergency lights that come on that. They need something to attract them more. They need more cones. They need somebody out there that's waving the flag, because those cars actually come fairly close, especially on Cutterback Avenue, where the streets are a little bit more narrow there. And so they need some safety equipment. And I think they realize that they also need, better safety equipment. So.
Good stuff. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The man of many hats is next, Mr. Costello.
Nothing for this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I don't have anything else. Let's go into resolutions.
Mr. Chairman, the first resolution is found at page 85 of the packet. It is 2024-05001 ESRI software renewal.
I'll move it.
Moved by Board Member, Luffler. Seconded by Board Member Larkin. Seconded by Board Member Kimball. On the question. And being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Askelar?
Yes.
Board Member Kimball?
Yes.
Board Member Larkin?
Yes.
Board Member Leffler?
Yes.
Chairman Forster?
Yes.
Motion carries. The second resolution is found at page 97 of the packet. Change orders, resolution 2024-05002. Change orders for wastewater treatment plant project 3, contracts 3E and 3GC closeout.
I'll move it to decrease.
Yeah, I'll second.
Always good.
Moved by Board Member Larkin or Board Member
That doesn't
Luffler,
matter.
seconded by Board Member, Larkin. On the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Askelar?
Yeah.
Board Member Kimball?
Yes.
Board Member Larkin?
Yes.
Board Member Leffler?
Yes.
Chairman Forster?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next resolution is found beginning at page 157 of the packet. 2024-05003, award bid for water main replacement on 77th Street from Stevenson Avenue to Niagara Falls Boulevard.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Ashklar. On the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Askelar?
Yeah.
Board Member Kimball?
Yes.
Board Member Larkin?
Yes.
Board Member Leffler?
Yes.
Chairman Forster?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next resolution is found beginning at page 163 of the packet.
Move it.
2024-05.
Moved by Board Member Ashklar,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Kimball. On the question.
Can you please finish reading?
Sure. It's 2024-05004, authorizing New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act grant application, obligating local matching funds, declaring intent to serve as secret lead agency and secret type 2 determination for water system improvements.
I know, have you avoided that?
Thanks.
On the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Askelar?
Yeah.
Board Member Kimball?
Yes.
Board Member Larkin?
Yes.
Board Member Leffler?
Yes.
Chairman Forster?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next resolution is found beginning at page 166 of the packet. 2024-05005, wastewater treatment plant order on consent, visible contrast and turbidity.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Kimball,
Second.
seconded by Board Member Larkin. On the question. None being heard, call the roll, please.
Board Member Askelar?
Yeah.
Board Member Kimball?
Yes.
Board Member Larkin?
Yes.
Board Member Leffler?
Yes.
Chairman Forster?
Yes.
Motion carries. The next resolution is found beginning at page 181 of the packet. Resolution 2024-05006, application for WIA, VIL, and WQIP funding for wastewater treatment plant work to meet water quality standards.
Move it.
Moved by Board Member Larkin,
I'll second.
seconded by Board Member Loeffler. On the question.
This is just, we give authorization for issuing bonds for $100 million.
So the request would have to be made, is being made through the resolution to the authority, the separate authority board to authorize the issuance of those bonds. This resolution, the board's action is not only requesting that, but also authorizing CPL as the board's grant consultant to submit applications for grants for the work. This is the resolution I mentioned might need an amendment after we speak with EFC to get a little more detail on how we should best go about doing it,
Can we
but
vote on it tonight still?
it would make
Yeah.
sense to vote on it. The board could always rescind the resolution or amend the resolution, and it could save a extra meeting.
I just have a question. Has the authority met?
They are meeting on the 30th
Okay,
of this month. That was just scheduled.
okay.
Call the roll, please.
Board Member Askelar?
Yes.
Board Member Kimball?
Yes.
Board Member Larkin.
Yes.
Board Member Leffler.
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Any board member have anything under old business or old or unfinished business? New business? Nothing. All right, we'll adjourn the meeting.
Move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn by Board Member Larkin. Second by Board Member Ashklar on the question. None being heard. Call the roll, please.
Board Member Asklar.
Yes, to adjourn.
Board Member Kimball.
Yes to adjourn.
Board Member Larkin.
Yes, to adjourn.
Board Member Leffler.
Yes.
Chairman Forster.
Yes.
Motion carries. The time is 6:10.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Board.
Okay. Yeah, see you in June. We just.